Second 5?
Thank you.
Yes, of course. More than welcome.
I still love mine in line, so.
That's totally fine. If your data's still in L1, just go 1 bar stats, for sure. 1 bar stats, mine bumped over to L5 though, so I want to press enter. Okay, and this is the screen I don't really care about right now. Because this is full of center and variation, which I don't need this screen, because we've decided that our data is kind of not bell-shaped, and therefore we probably shouldn't be looking at the average and the standard deviation. I mean, it's maybe a little bit too wide to be talking about. So scroll down, bump down with your arrow. This is the screen I want to pay attention to today, for the first part of today. This is the part I want to chit-chat about. And these 5 numbers right here, these 5 numbers are called the 5-number summary. And I want to talk about them and make sure we know what they are, because they're totally rad. A lot of times, this is the only tool you're going to have to deal with data. I want to share a way I use this to help a local rock climbing pole manufacturer analyze some of their rosins they were using for their climbing poles, basically starting with just this. So, now some of this, you know what some of this is. Pick one of those 5 things and tell me what it is. Go ahead, be brave. John, go.
Median.
What is the median?
15.
Oh, what is it? I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Very, very good. Yes, your median is 15 in this case. What is the median always? Somebody just said it. Michelle, was that you? Somebody, who was that? I did.
50.
And this is Emily, yes? What is it?
50.
The 50 what? 50th percentile. We're going to talk about some shorthand here to make life easy for ourselves. You can write 50th percentile as big P subscript 50. 50th percentile. I just hear voices. Sometimes they're in my head sometimes. It's the 50th percentile. Okay, you can write it like that. That saves us the trouble of having to write the word 50th percentile. What does that mean? What does it mean to be the 50th percentile? Natasha, go! I'm sorry. What middle?
The middle.
What the? I know 3 different middles. Which middle are you talking about?
Of the data, like geographical.
Boom! Thank you. Need a little bit more. Because there's an average middle.
Yeah.
Which is the weight or balance middle.
Yeah.
And then there's the modal middle. Sounds like a nursery rhyme. So it's the geographic middle after you've done. Right. So in other words, complete this sentence for me. I know that half of the people in this class have visited or less. Right? Half the class has been to fewer than 15 states, half the class has been to more than 15 states. We'll see that momentarily on the graphic on the board as well. Fair enough? Fair enough, maybe. Good. Grab another number up there and tell me what it means. Max! What's the max?
The maximum amount of states someone has
Yep.
in a class.
Absolutely. Max is your largest data value. Sometimes that's called the 100th percentile. I've seen that from time to time. The only place I've ever seen it is within the realm of academia. I've never seen it out in the world. So my vote is don't worry about that, but every once in a blue moon somebody will mention the 100th percentile. Just realize they're talking about the biggest data point. That's all. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to go with the min next. I think that makes the most sense, yeah. And what do you think the min is? Smallest data point. Which would be correspondent if we wanted to use a percentile. They would call it the what, do you think?
0.
If they had to pick one, they would call it the 0th. Now actually, that actually agrees with my kind of overriding definition of what percentile is. If percentile is the percentage you exceed, then the smallest data point should be the 0th percentile because it doesn't exceed anything. Does that make sense? So I think what a lot of folks do is they take that logic to the max as well, and they just apply that to the 100th percentile. Okay. So now I noticed you guys have conveniently ignored the other 2.